Hi, this is my reflection video for my student teaching. My name is Christina Thompson. I'm going to let you know what I learned this semester. This semester, I learned how to study the assessment data that I have on my students to understand what they have in regards to unfinished learning and what they have mastered. And this helps me plan my groups. This helps me plan my lessons to know where I need to support them to achieve the learning goal. So I looked at benchmark data, I looked at running records, I looked at phonics screeners. I also consulted with like the intervention specialists and the behavioral therapist to come up with modifications and adaptations that I can be ready to use in the middle of the lesson when my students have a need. I also learned to look at the CELDT data for my ELL students to know where in the teacher edition to look for supports for these students. What types of sentence frames should I be giving these students to help them engage with the lesson and to support them to develop academic language and academic vocabulary. I also learned how to differentiate. So not only just giving modifications for maybe behavior or where to support students with unfinished learning, but how can I help those who are already achieving the lesson to excel and move beyond the lesson? So this would be, what type of higher order thinking questions can I give these students to achieve the lesson? And so that would often be to elaborate, to create, to invent. And I learned also that to always have a supply of worksheets or workbooks for these students who move through material very quickly. This is important, especially when we have rotation time. During rotation time, there's a lot of time for differentiation. And while some students need a lot of support to complete their work, these students finish quickly and are ready to move on, and the material is easy for them. So for these students, we have extra packets that are kind of a bonus packet for them to work on. I also learned how to time my lessons much better. I learned to not waste time. I learned to put the learning on the children by having them read more with partners, ask each other questions, answer questions in small groups, and to gather information themselves with a partner. I learned to really key in on the most key skills that I'm in the learning goal quickly, and to move on even if the kids don't quite understand it, because I can always come back with a refresher lesson or a small group intervention lesson later if not every child is understanding the lesson. I also learned to formally and informally assess so I know which students did not understand the lesson. That way I can come back and support them later. I learned a lot about behavior, and one thing I've learned is that you are never done expressing procedures and expectations, even if you are 3 or 4 months in the school year, because they will forget. So it's always important to front load your expectations. If there's a change, it's important to go a little bit slower and to let them know what the change is. And it's also important to revisit many of the school-wide expectations in a positive way. I've learned also to reinforce with a 4-to-1 ratio. So meaning like you want 4 positive comments of feedback before you have 1 negative comment of, for feedback. So this is especially important for my students who have attention difficulties and need frequent reminders to remember that those are the students I need to find positive interactions with. So to praise them for even small things that they do well. I think that is about it. So yes, thank you for watching this video. I had a really wonderful semester, and I thank you for your support.